Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you are a subscriber, I appreciate it. If you have not subscribed yet, please do subscribe. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, go ahead and hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this conversation slash reality chat, guys. We're going to have a little conversation. I'm behind the wheel right now driving. Probably shouldn't be recording at this time, but I am. I just try to get it in when I have the opportunity. And I wanted to discuss Marsau Scott and Latisha Scott. I don't talk about them here on my platform very often. I don't care for Marsau Scott's character. He just, I feel, is an extremely chauvinistic person. He is of that dumb old school mentality that feel like women should be silent, pregnant, and in the kitchen. But because he's in the public eye now, being on this show, he's quote unquote allowing his wife to so-called spread her wings and have a career. She went to college. I believe they said they met in school. And in my eyes, I also feel like he's a bit of the predator type as well, because he mentioned that when he saw her, he knew that he was going to marry her. And the way he treats her, he doesn't treat her in a way that's very loving and I adore my wife and all that other bull crap. Well, that's not bull crap. The way he treats his wife is bull crap, and the way she allows it is bullcrap, because she's one of the main ones that wants to talk about marriage, and we've been married the longest and people need to put respect on our marriage, but yet he doesn't put respect on it. I've seen this man throughout the show and the seasons disrespect her, either directly or indirectly. They went to Vegas on a trip where they were celebrating their, I think it was 15-year wedding anniversary, and he made it clear he did not want to renew their vows, but she had already, I guess, planned a trip to a wedding chapel where she wanted to do it. And he couldn't just patronize her and just go through the motions. It's like you're already married. Who gives a crap? It's not like you two have been in a long-term relationship and you are not married, and she said, hey, let's just go ahead and make it official, and you had reservations about it to say, no, I don't think I want to get married, yet. I want to continue to get myself together and get our finances in place or whatever, the excuses that people come up with when they're really just trying to put off making a commitment to somebody. But at any rate, he wouldn't even patronize her to do that, right? But anyway, there's so many things that I could say, and just for the sake of making this a short episode, I just really wanted to talk about this because on this last episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, I know people say that Tiffany is messy, but I was here for it because she said a lot of the things that people really should say that they don't necessarily say out loud or in that person's face. Well, Tiffany mentioned something that a lot of people believe, and I agree with, and it's the fact that Tisha may be the majority shareholder and of the business that they have, Scott, but it's just on paper, and it's for the purposes of it being a double minority owned business. I am an African American woman myself. I don't benefit from a lot of the things that are out there for African American women owned businesses, but those things are out there if you tap into them. And the construction business that they have, you better trust and believe that there are opportunities, especially when it comes to grants with the federal government and different things like that, where when it goes to them bidding on different projects, it benefits them to have a woman who is also, by the way, African American owning the business. So Marsau doesn't believe that Tisha's that bright or intelligent. Let's just be real. And the fact that this woman has allowed her husband to take her office and give it to an employee. I don't believe the guy is a business partner. I believe he's an employee. Even if he's a business partner, if she's the owner of the business and majority to just take her office, didn't even consult her about it. She just went in there and it was a done thing. It to me shows that Tiffany isn't lying when it comes to the fact that people believe that the business is really owned by Marsau, but just on paper and for the sake of possible government contracts and grants and different benefits that they may get in terms of funding, getting loans from banks and different, funding sources. It looks more beneficial if Latisha is the main owner of the business, okay? So when it was brought up, Latisha took offense to it, and she's like, well, I'm gonna have to talk to Tiffany about that, because why is she going around here talking about my marriage and talking about my business? Girl, most people do that. Okay? And it's not that we're disrespecting you, it's the fact that your husband doesn't respect you and you two are just not owning up to it. And I get it, for the sake of the optics and to make it look legitimate and official, you can't come outright and say, yeah, Marsau really is the owner of this business, but for the sake of the things that we can benefit from, we're just putting that Latisha is the owner of the business. So in that first season, when Latisha was a stay-at-home mom and she just really looked miserable, looked a bit, I felt like she was a pretty woman. I still feel she's a pretty woman, but she's definitely more made up now, wearing more revealing clothing, tighter fit clothing, where back in the first season, she was more natural, wasn't wearing much makeup, hair was natural, was, wearing looser fit clothing, just looked a bit more, I don't like to use the word homely. I'll just say comfortable. I'll just say that, right? And she was expressing to Marsau that she really wanted to spread her wings. The children were getting older. She wanted to be able to get into her career more and continue her education. And he wanted to look like he was okay with it. But trust and believe, the only reason he's okay with it is because everything that she is doing, it is involved in the business that he owns. That on paper, I'm agreeing with Tiffany, on paper, she is the majority owner of. Okay? So, because let's just be honest, if Tisha was doing a different, just like a completely different field, because we know they have the construction business Scott. What if Latisha wanted to go into, I don't know, let's say the medical field or fashion or, beauty or something like that, something completely different? Do you think he would be okay with that? And it didn't benefit his business? So everything that she has supposedly done to get out of being a stay-at-home mom has been for the sake of benefiting his business that he owns. Because on this season, when he was discussing some things with her, which he wasn't really discussing anything with her, he was really just telling her, because she was trying to speak up to say, as the owner of the business, I should know what's going on. I should know who you're hiring, who you're firing. And he's like, as the owner of the business, why would you need to know that? I mean, as the owner of the business, of a business, I own a few businesses, but speaking as the owner of a business, when you do have staff that are in management positions and things like that, I sort of understand where he was coming from with what he was saying. But in this situation, it doesn't make sense, because it's just she and he. They don't have managers and CEOs and other people that they have in the Scott business. Yeah, they have the Black Cigar Lounge, and they have servers and bartenders and, and that type of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Scott, that construction business. So she should know, because it's just the two of them at that time. So why would he not tell her about it? Because he doesn't feel like he needs to. He feels like, this is my business. You just sit back, let me run the show. I appreciate you putting your name down as the majority owner of the business, but you know what it is. So I just feel that Tiffany, even though some people may feel like she was being intrusive or being nosy, she needs to mind her own business. She wasn't lying. There were no lies detected, in my opinion. So I agreed with what she said. Now, I'm sure it may hurt Tisha's feelings, and we know that she's got this sensitive place with her where she doesn't like to hear people talking about her marriage or talking about her business. But Tiffany wasn't lying about any of that. I do believe that Tisha is just on paper the owner of the business, and everything that she has done in terms of her continued education and licenses that she has been for the benefit of Scott, the business that Marsau owns. That, by the way, Melody and I don't even like to say Martell, Melody and Martell just attached to it, gifted to them in a way. So let's just be real. Latisha is not the owner of that business. Marsau is the head of the show. He runs it. He runs her. And listen, if you like it, I love it. Nobody really cares that much. I just feel that for a lot of people who respond or make comments about Latisha and Marsau, it's the fact that Latisha tries to sell this marriage is amazing and I'm team wife and I'm all for marriage, when the marriage that she has is not the ideal that anybody should be promoting. Anybody. So it's like, if that's what you like, do that. But don't try to pawn that off on anyone else as if what you have is ideal and everyone should aspire to have what you have, because really no one wants what they have. I don't believe most people want what they have at all. If you feel that that's stability, okay. They've been building this Scott Manor that they call it for I don't know how many years now. It's still not built. So a lot of things that they share about themselves and what they share about the business and whatever, it is questionable. But because you've now become these reality people, I don't even want to say reality stars, reality characters and somewhat of public figures, you've put your life out there. So you've put your life out there for people to critique and for people to comment on. I'm not saying that every comment or opinion that people make is fair, accurate, or right, but it's par for the course. It's a part of that life. That's why some people could never be on a reality show, because they don't want to put their life under a microscope or be subjected to that, or to even have to come up with storylines, so to speak, or act things out more than what they normally would in regular life, because that's just not who they really are. So I have to say that I don't really have much sympathy for her when it comes to that. I'm not saying that she deserves to be bullied or attacked if that happens, but I don't follow any of these people on social media to know if that happens. But if it does happen, then that's not cool. But I don't believe that Tiffany lied about anything that she said when it came to the business and the arrangement that they have. That's really what it looks like and appears to us. So in my personal opinion, I don't believe Tiffany lied about anything when it came to the business. And yeah, Tisha may get offended by it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You can't say that this is my business and you have people kicking you out of your own office. I own my own business. I have multiple locations. I operate out of one of the locations myself. I have employees, staff. In one of my locations, I have my office. No one could come in there and kick me out of my office. No one. It's my business. Not even my own husband. My husband can't do that. So it's bullcrap when you want to put this off as if this is your business that you own, or you are the majority stakeholder and you have a say-so in it, but your husband's kicking you out of the office and he is listening to an employee that he hired the other day more than he's listening to his partner, his own wife, the woman that he sleeps with, I'm assuming has sex with, sits at the table and eats with and lives with, and he doesn't respect her and listen to her opinion or her ideas about the business. It just doesn't make sense. So again, I just wanted to talk about that, guys. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here, liking, and subscribing. This is Beth. I'm just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful. Thanks for being on this ride with me. And now I'm going to say bye.